It's the Makin Moves podcast featuring Darren James and Tyler Alexander.
I love these guys.
Because they're funny, they're entertaining.
Talking everything about mindset, money, and motivation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Real facts, real truth, and real estate.
Come on, let's go.
All right, what is going on, everyone? It is Tyler Alexander and Darren James. I am switching it up a little bit. I'm opening it up today. Darren finally gave me the honors and trusted me to do this, so we're going to try to do it. So we are coming in today on our 7th episode of Makin Moves podcast, helping everyone try to achieve their dreams in real estate, entrepreneurship, and really any other opportunities to grow and generate passive income. So we got an awesome episode today. We are going to discuss the top 5 apps for realtors to use. Darren, I know, puts on some classes for this, and he travels pretty much around the country teaching classes on the best apps for realtors to use. So when y'all watch this episode, I'd recommend getting with your phone companies, trying to upload that data plan to where you have enough storage on there for these apps, because he has about 200 of them, but we're just going to cover the 5 today. So happy to have you along and share a little bit with some of these apps.
Awesome. I'm excited about this episode, man. I'm about to talk about a subject that I'm near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
So you remember your first week of jumping into the car with me and traveling around, and what happened?
I do. So I remember getting in the car with him, and when I was doing ride-alongs for real estate and traveling along, the first thing I realized was that I don't have enough storage on my phone, because I'm like, every day I'm getting there, I'm downloading apps. And finally I got a notification that says your storage is almost full. I'm like, what? And so I looked at it, and I think I had at that point 50-something apps, and I had I didn't ever even logged into any of them. I just had them, for when that time I'd use them. And so now looking back on it, it's funny because, these 5 that we're going to cover today, outside of one of them that I don't use, I've used ever since I've gotten licensed. Yeah. And so they're amazing apps. They're great for realtors, and they kind of cover different aspects of real estate as well. We got a reminder app, we got a calendar app, we got a video app. We got an email app, so it's kind of all different avenues to go about, and every one of them is extremely beneficial. So happy to share that.
All right. So, what's your one of your top ones that you want to talk about today? Let's talk about
So we're gonna save my favorite one for last, but probably my second favorite one that has really, really, really helped my business is Spike, which is an email app that can be linked to Gmail, Yahoo, and I'm assuming all of them. The thing that's awesome about Spike, me and Darren actually use this feature on it quite often, is you can create a shared note, kind of like you can on an iPhone. So you can go in and add me and Darren in there and have a shared note, and you can add stuff. So we'll do, back when we first started this, we do podcast topics. And when Darren types something, I can see what he types, and it's live. So I can go in and type. You can do it with clients. If you're going over CMAs or whatever, you can share it with them, and you can see them talking back and forth with you through that. On top of all that, another awesome feature of it is that you can pin emails, which I know a lot of realtors out there, you get a lot of emails. We get spammed with a lot of stuff. So it's awesome to have, those emails. For instance, if you're in an appointment or something and you get a purchase agreement in, you can just go in, pin it to the top, to where when you go in that night to look at it, it's right there at the top of the screen. You don't have to scroll through your emails, try to find it. And so I do that with a lot of my purchase agreements, inspection responses, stuff with pre-approvals. Every buyer I get, I pin the pre-approval to the top, to where when we do find a house, I don't have to go search for that realtor's name in there. I can go to I open my app, and it's right there sitting at the top. So those are probably my 2 favorite features on Spike. So give me some of your.
There's a bunch of them. Right?
Yeah, there's a bunch.
So Spike is basically a one-stop shop for everything. So they used to have an app that was out for Gmail at one point in time, and they actually did away with it. And it allowed you to basically create a to-do list within your email. A lot of people use the to-do list on an iPhone or an Android device, whereas Spike allows you to put it directly within your email application. So there's no more having to switch back and forth for to-do items. You can put a to-do list there. You can create a note there. You can also build out groups there. You can also see your calendar within the app itself. It's just so many different to make email fit fast and easy.
Right.
One of the things that I do on my emails is I like to get to inbox 0. I'm one of those inbox 0 type people. I can't have stuff in my inbox.
I mean, you don't want to look at mine.
No, I sure don't. Stressing thinking about the bubble right now.
And my messages.
No, I got to get to inbox 0. I can't see any bubbles on there. That's the way I operate. And so I always clear it out all the time. I'm always going through it, clearing it out completely. And another thing it allows you to do is it allows you to snooze stuff. So you mentioned earlier about pinning things to the top. If I get an email and I need to look at it later today, I can just swipe it to the left, and it says when do I want it to come back, and then it'll send me an email back to me like a boomerang almost. It comes right back to your inbox, at a later time you specify. So if I need to follow up with somebody, I can make a to-do list, say follow up with Tyler on this date and time, swipe it over, and it'll automatically pop up in my inbox. So it's a great app to make you more efficient with your time and also avoid having to get cramps in your fingers by switching in between apps.
Hey, no doubt. I can tell you, it's very rare that I'll use the actual Gmail app now. I mean, every time I use Spike on anything, even on my desktop.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I would definitely recommend it. It's free, obviously. So definitely check that out. That's been one of the best apps that I've had. So, but rolling into the second one, kind of what I mentioned earlier, we're all different topics here. So the next one is on the video side and, the marketing and stuff like social media side of it is BombBomb. So I know a lot of realtors out there are probably familiar with BombBomb, but what they're not familiar with is how to use it. There's a big difference in those two. You can have the app, but you don't know how to use it and utilize it, and it doesn't really work for you. And so I know, you can probably tell your story on something you do for, in our CRM, how you send BombBomb videos to leads and stuff, sellers and stuff like that. So kind of go into that and talk about, what you do on BombBomb to utilize your business.
So I basically, I use it as my email newsletter. So I have a newsletter built out. I do market reports directly through it as well. I have my entire database built in there too. So like this morning, I sent out an email on all the different price adjustments we had for all the team members across the team. So you had an adjustment on there. You actually had two on there. One on your property out in Tranquility and the other one, your property on 4 Road. So did that this morning, sent that out to my entire database, letting them know that, hey, the price has been reduced, trying to get you a buyer on that property. And so I do that and also do just updates on that, market updates. It's just a great email correspondence. If I go to a listing appointment, I can jump into that app and I can go ahead and send that person, hey, it's Darren James. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. And it's just a personalized video as opposed to, worried about length or length of the video. It'll send a link to the video so where it stores on their server. So there's no time limitation on it either.
Awesome. Yeah, I love BombBomb. And kind of what I run side by side with BombBomb, not all the time, but is another app that we use called Splice. So Splice is probably my all-time favorite app on my phone outside of this one we're going to cover at the end. Because with Splice, you can do so many things with it. You can. You're crazy. You're absolutely nuts.
Splice.
So
man,
Splice is amazing. You don't even know how to use Splice. So
oh my God.
Let me cover the Splice subject. With the paid version,
Jim, splice this out.
Splice is awesome because you can upload in there, you can cut, you can record, you can overlay, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can put it in you can take a video that's in 1080p and you can convert it to 4K. You probably didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't. I saw that light bulb go off in my head,
right.
so no, you didn't.
Okay.
But you can convert to 4K. You can also take if you shoot on your iPhone, a lot of people when you're shooting videos of properties, your iPhone's gonna, unless you set it, it's gonna automatically shoot in 30 FPS. Now you can go ahead and change that to 60, which I would recommend because it's smoother. But what you can do in Splice, if it's in 30 FPS, when you upload it, you can upload and change it to 60 as well. So it can make the video smoother, flow better. So Splice is amazing. Darren hates it. I don't know why.
I don't hate it. I just know you like it, so I gotta dislike it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you better dislike all these apps today. So that's Splice. We're not going to go into detail on that one, but if y'all want to know more, hit my cell and we'll talk. But the next one rolling into is, I'm going to save this one for last. So Darren was actually telling me about this one when we sat down here. I don't use it, so I'm going to let him kind of talk about it. I've never heard of it before, so, go ahead, tell him that app.
Inside Maps. So what it basically does is it is an app that you can use to where you can do 3D panoramic videos on your from your iPhone. It's from your iPhone only. And so they basically ship you this little contraption basically that spins around. You put the phone on a tripod and it spins around in the middle of the room and we'll build you a floor plan and build you a walkthrough similar to a Matterport tour directly for your property. It'll also capture HDR images for you directly from your phone. It's edited by a professional editor for that system. It'll also build out a professional floor plan for you as well. So, it does all three things for $49. Very, very inexpensive, very, very affordable for your listings. It's just a great tool to use, and it makes things very simple. To shoot an entire 1,500 square foot house, you're looking at doing that probably less than 20 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome. So that goes south. You just do that with your iPhone. Like you don't have to have. What if you shoot on a camera?
It has to be on an iPhone.
So you have to do it through the iPhone.
It has to do it through an iPhone because it mounts on a little base. The base mounts on the tripod, and the base spins around. And you move the base like roughly across the room. So you'll set it at the front door, and then you move it across the room, and it captures the whole entire room. and then it builds a walkway to where you can walk directly through the house with your mouse.
So you get 3D walkthroughs.
That's right.
So it just seems simpler than what Matterport was.
Matterport, you had to move the camera every 3 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a whole lot easier and makes things. It actually utilizes a 360 camera on your iPhone device. It'll spin around and make your iPhone a 360 camera. So it's pretty cool.
How accurate is the floor plan?
It's very accurate.
Really?
Yes,
Like
100%.
it gives you dimensions of rooms and everything?
No, it doesn't do that. No, it doesn't do that.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. So download that one. I'm going to download it when we leave here. So that's another one I'll add to the library.
Go upload your storage.
Yeah, I'm maxed out. So hopefully I don't use 2 terabytes, but I'm knocking on the door already. So
yeah, but for $49 a tour, I mean that's a win.
Absolutely.
Around,
especially and it's something I think it could be something huge for trying to win over listing appointments.
Yeah.
Showing that to them. Hey, look, here's just another added thing I'm going to do for your property that other agents aren't. Also,
a lot of people don't. I'm a professional photographer too, right? I studied underneath one of the best in 2011, and so long and story short, a lot of people don't realize the capability of how good the iPhone camera is, or the Android camera for that matter, right? Yep. Both of the cameras are great, and so with those cameras, that system, a lot of agents who are just now getting into the business, they paid for their real estate school, they paid for their MLS dues, they got all this expense up front, and then they get their first listing. They can't afford to go pay all this money. Nothing against the professional photographers. I agree with that. But if you're on a budget, you have to do something when you're first getting started, right? Yep. Well, this system through Inside Maps allows you to basically utilize your iPhone camera, and it converts the images to HDR images for you to where it looks pretty professional.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah. So y'all go download that one as well. Like I said, I will definitely be doing that as soon as we leave here. So I'll have that one in the library. So let me ask you this. So I know we didn't discuss this earlier so in case any of y'all don't know that we've never made this clear, me and Darren do not script anything when we come in here.
This is 100% raw.
We come in and you can ask Jim who is shooting this. We come in here and we just talk off the heart and off the chest, which I think it should be every podcast.
I can only imagine what's about to come out your mouth because you said we didn't talk about this before we got in here.
No, it's not anything bad. If there was an app today, if there was a realtor out there, an agent that's looking to grow their business, whether it's a new agent, whether it's an experienced agent that just wants to grow their business, and you've went through and you've trained them and you need to do this and that, you need to do your focus on your SOI, you need to call these leads, you need to do all, you taught them the systems that are in place to do it. But what is there an app out there that can help them do that? Whether it's data management, whether it's day planning, whether it's a video app, what app would you think off the top of your head that could help them do that?
Fantastical.
Okay. I know Fantastical. So explain that to Fantastical. Explain it to them.
It is an app that it uses native speaking language. What I mean by that is it allows input into a calendar. Fantastical is a calendar app that helps you manage time management. And that is one of the biggest lapses that most agents have in this business is time management, because there's what we call time vampires in this business. And so if you want to go take a 10-hour lunch break, you can, and nobody to hold yourself accountable but yourself. Nobody's going to say, hey, you got to get back to work. You got to go do this or whatever. So with that being said, Fantastical allows you to master time blocking. But the thing that's so much better than that, than the regular calendar app on any phone for that matter, and it works on Android or iPhone, is that it works in natural speaking language. So in other words, if I'm going to meet with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I can go to that calendar and say, schedule an appointment to meet with Tyler Alexander tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And it automatically goes into my calendar, and I have pre-designed alarm reminders that remind me 1 hour before, 30 minutes before, 15 minutes before, 5 minutes before, and at the time of the event.
God bless.
So I get 5 alerts for every single calendar event that I have in my calendar, so I don't miss anything. And that's how I stay on track. But yeah, that's probably one of the best and hardest things to overcome in your real estate career is time management.
Yeah, absolutely. And time blocking.
That's right.
And they both go hand in hand.
That's right.
Lack of time management results in lack of time blocking. That's so, right. Definitely. I've used Fantastical as well, but it's very similar to this next app that we're about to get into. That is the final one. That is the greatest app ever put in the App Store, and the greatest app for any realtor out there, and not even a realtor. And we were just talking to Jim about it. Anybody that's really self-employed or anything, this app is, Darren hates that I use it so much, but it's his fault that he got me addicted to it. I use it as my calendar, but I use it as my calendar, my reminder app, kind of my Swiss Army knife of everything. And that app is Due, D-U-E. So a little bit about Due. When I first got licensed, when I was doing ride-alongs with Darren, he told me about Due, and I did it. But when I was through college, I never knew about Do, so I use Google Reminders, just like we have on our iPhone, the standard reminder. But what I noticed is if you're on the phone, a reminder goes off, it doesn't alert you. And when you hang up with that phone call, it's gone unless you swipe up for your notifications. It also doesn't steadily remind you, if you don't hear it go off, if your sound's not on or whatever, if your phone's on vibrate, it just pops up on your screen. Well, Do is completely different. Unless your phone is turned off, Do is going to make a sound. If your phone's on vibrate, Do still goes off as loud as it can possibly be. And the cool thing about it is that you can set it on repeat. So if you, like I have Do in here that we shoot this podcast every other Tuesday at 12 o'clock. So at 12 o'clock every other Tuesday, it reminds me, which I know now, but you could set repeat stuff. What Do also does is it will steadily remind you until you turn it off, nonstop. Literally nonstop. So it goes off every 30 seconds and will keep reminding you and reminding you and reminding you until the task is done. So if you want to set it an hour before an appointment, so if you got a listing appointment at 12 o'clock, at 10:45, you set it to remind you to, hey, run comps, pull marketing material for this listing that I'm going to or whatever. It will steadily remind you all the way until that. And after 10:45, it will steadily remind you. So it's really awesome. It's completely impossible to forget anything with Do. And I think it's like $7, $6.
$6.99.
Yeah.
$7.99 maybe.
It's only for iPhone, so if you got an Android, switch to iPhone because you need to anyway. I think they got TikTok or TikTok or whatever the stupid one is for Android.
Tick.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so prices are not guaranteed as a result of this podcast.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because prices can change, so we want to make that disclaimer.
Viewer
up
discretion
front.
is advised.
Yes, right. So if we say something about a price, like I said, Inside Mouse $49, it may be $449. I don't really know.
Don't hold us to that.
But yeah, I think it's $49. But anyway, long and short, great deal. Same thing with Do. Great app. Probably the best app, one of the best apps I have on my phone as far as reminders, because I love the new feature. So the new feature is a critical alert. Mm-hmm. So if my phone is on silent, I have the settings to where it doesn't alert me, except it just pops up on my screen on silent. But if I set a critical alert, it'll make a noise no matter what. So every night at 11 o'clock, I call my dad and tell him good night and I love him and all that type of stuff at 11 p.m. And so it's on a critical alert. So no matter what, it's going to go off every single night at 11 o'clock.
Absolutely. And also another thing about Do, it is a third-party app. So it's not built into iPhone, but it still works hand in hand with Siri. So if you're sitting on your phone and you say, hey, Siri, remind me to call Tyler at 2 o'clock tomorrow, which it's probably about to go in there now that I said that, but it will automatically go in just like it would on Google Reminders. So that's another pretty cool feature about it, is that you don't have to manually enter anything. You can do it. You can run it just like a Google Calendar as a third-party app. So if they were to ever delete that app out of the App Store, I am in a bind in my real estate business.
You are really going to be
I'm in a bind.
Because you don't use Google Calendar
I do not. I've never used a calendar ever. I never will. I just can't. I can't. I'm not.
How does that function? Because
I'm not a factor of change.
But no, that is that looks like a cloud to me. Like, and let me explain what I mean. So your to-dos are things you have to get done that day, or a task that has to be completed. Mm-hmm. But you got your appointments within there too. So it just looks like a big cloud of a bunch of stuff that is not going to be completed on my calendar.
Yeah, well, that's why it's on my phone.
Yeah, I know.
And you ain't got to worry about
it. How do you? I can't operate that way.
Because I have it set. I don't need to. I know generally the only disadvantage to using this other than the calendar is that it doesn't automatically time block an hour out for me, or 30 minutes out, which that does suck. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
I'll tell you what I wish. I'll tell you what I wish that Do would do. No pun intended, right? I wish it would allow you to notify you in advance of appointments.
Like when you go to schedule one?
Yeah, so like if I got an appointment coming up, or I want to get reminded at 11 o'clock, it'll start reminding me at 10.
Well, you can just set it in there.
I know, but I don't want to do that.
Well,
I know I got an hour in advance to prepare for this to be there, right? Like you said a while ago, prepare CMA and so forth and so on. I wanted to alert me beforehand, because sometimes I'll need to call that. I'll have an appointment scheduled for 11, and I get finished early with another appointment before that. I want to be able to jump to the next one. Yeah. And if it reminds me early, I can say, oh yeah, I got that. I can come up at 11. I can go ahead and get that done and knock it out.
Yeah, definitely could. But like I said, I'll put everything in there, but it's easy for me because I know it now, and I know everything I'm going in there, and I know how long stuff's going to take. So I'll put in there showing at 11 o'clock. And then if I have back-to-back showings, like if I'm scheduling 3 of them, then I know from 11 to 1 I'm booked up. So I don't need to put anything in there. Now the downside to it is, once again, that you can't. It's not like you can't use Calendly with it, so people can't book through you and go in your Do, which that sucks. But hopefully one day they'll integrate that. But I love it. Don't use a calendar. So Steve Jobs, is that who owns Apple? Isn't that who owns Apple? Steve Jobs.
He did.
Who owns Apple now?
Tim Cook.
All right, Tim Cook.
He's the CEO of Apple. He's the CEO of Apple.
Tim Cook, if you happen to see this podcast, please don't take that app out the App Store.
Yeah,
for me.
make it happen.
Sincerely.
Don't make it happen. Don't take it out.
Yeah, don't take it out. But yeah, that's so yeah, those 5 apps are extremely
Did we
beneficial.
cover 5?
Yeah, we covered Spike, Boom Boom,
Bomb.
Bomb, not Boom Boom. I have the Boom Boom nasal things. So I thought about that. I got them in my truck. So things are amazing too. Yeah, Spike, Bomb, Do, the map one.
Yep.
And then Fantastical.
That's right. Okay.
Well, I feel like we're missing one.
We
What
are
was
missing
one
one.
we're missing that we
You
talked
said
about. I don't know. I can't think of which one we're missing.
Yeah, we're missing one. I don't know.
But anyway,
we'll cover that on the later.
Yeah, we'll
episode.
cover it on a later one. Or if y'all want to learn more, y'all get with me or Darren, and we can run you through all of ours. It would take probably about 6 hours to go through everything, which Darren does a boot camp for
I do.
that.
Got one coming up in June. Actually, the end of June. Got my next one coming up, and anybody is able to attend it to learn all the systems, processes, and just open up the playbook.
Yep, absolutely, and that's everyone in our organization. That's not just joining Darren's team. So anyone in our organization that joins us with LPT does have access to all of that. We'll have access to all of Darren's boot camp trainings, all the videos, all the apps, all the stuff in there. So if anyone's interested, y'all definitely let us know. We'd be happy to sit down with you, kind of go over everything, because there's about 100 more apps that we did not cover that we both use every single day, just about, that are equally as good as those. But those are kind of the top 5 that came to my head. On what I use literally on an absolute daily basis. So I know there's some great CRM apps out there, depending on what CRM you have.
Speaking of that, let me tell you a good app. Another one that you need to know. Mm-hmm. It's called Cloze. CLOZE.
Oh, I've heard of that. I think you've told me about it.
I probably have.
Let me see.
It's phenomenal.
Let me see if I have this app.
It's not on that phone.
Huh?
I'd be willing to bet. Don't go to that.
CLOZE.
Yeah.
No, it's not on here. Yeah. But I swore you've told me about it.
It's a phenomenal app. So it's great. So it automatically looks at the people that you email and text the most and reminds you automatically based on your behavior to follow up with them and touch base with them. It's freaking pretty cool.
Okay, that's not what I remember.
Yeah,
I thought there was another app that you had mentioned that was similar to that. I thought it was called Cloze. It was something where, because remember I was talking to you a while back about how I can automate follow-up with clients that I've closed, like past clients. And I thought you said there was an app that you can do that will automatically remind you, like automatically build stuff out to send to them. I swore you said...
That's not a Scipio.
No, it's not Scipio. It wasn't Scipio. It was close. Oh, well. Anyway, we'll discuss that, and on the next episode, we may talk about it. We may not. Who knows?
This is all unscripted.
Yeah, this is very all unscripted, but hopefully next episode we'll talk about this, or hopefully the market's still booming like it is now.
Unbelievable.
And it has been crazy, a crazy quarter1. I know for me personally, definitely, I'm on track to double almost what I did last year. So it's been amazing for me, and I know a lot of people. Our team is crushing it. We're killing it. We're hopefully going to adhere to some changes here soon, and it's going to drastically affect a lot of things. But we're excited about it, and it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to help all of our businesses, and so we have a ton of stuff coming in the works for the team, with team events and new stuff. I can't get in all details. I'm not going to get in all details on everything, but there's some awesome stuff. And if y'all want to learn, definitely reach out to me or Darren. We'd be happy to sit down with you and kind of talk to you about all the stuff we have here. On what's going on, but we are crushing it over here.
Bro, we took 16 listings in the last week.
Yep.
Crazy. Let's rock.
It's insane. Well, I appreciate y'all. So this will conclude the episode today. I appreciate y'all tuning in and listening. If y'all need anything, I'm Tyler Alexander. That's Darren James. You can reach me at 225-955-0008 and Darren at 335-7666. Peace.
All right, folks, and we're off. Oh, wow. What a